friends. We are happy to meet you on the Discovery Germany channel. At this difficult time, when there are travel restrictions around the world due to the virus, and many people have changed their plans and stayed at home, we want to help at least a little to fulfill your dream of traveling to Germany. On our channel, we will introduce you to beautiful places, historical sites, various events and gastronomic traditions, not only of its capital Berlin, but also of the whole of Germany. Today, we want to introduce you to the most famous attraction in Berlin. The Brandenburg Gate is a must-see for every visitor to Berlin. Hardly any other landmark is found on so many tourist selfies, as often as the large sandstone gate in the heart of the city. In the evening, the gate is illuminated by 250 lights and spotlights. They are illuminated during any special events in the capital, on Christmas and New Year's Eve, or as it was at the Festival of Light in Berlin. Berlin owes the Brandenburg Gate to King Friedrich Wilhelm I, who built a large sandstone gate to complement the magnificent Unter den Linden Boulevard, which we will definitely tell you about, because it is the main street of Berlin, the love of all Berliners and a street with an amazing history. The Brandenburg Gate was built between 1789 and 1793 by the German architect Karl Gotthard Langhans. The sculpture of the Quadriga, crowning the gate, is a work designed by the sculptor Johann Gottfried Shadov. To the west of the Brandenburg Gate is the 18th March Square, named after the March Revolution in Germany in 1848, and on March 18, 1990, there were the first free elections to the People's Chamber and the Dieder, when the citizens of the Dieder voted by an overwhelming majority to restore German unity and abandon further existence of the Dieder. Also, on the west side of the gate, is the vast green area of the Great Tiergarten. In the opposite direction from the Brandenburg Gate, towards the east of Berlin, there is the most famous street in Berlin, a street with an amazing history and about which the great Marlene Dietrich sang, Unter den Linden Street. And right in front of the gate is the stunning Parisian Square. The Brandenburg Gate is the only remaining of the last 18 city gates of Berlin, most of which were named after the city that was on the road from this gate. Of course, when you arrive in Berlin, you yourself will see the beautiful bas-reliefs and sculptures that adorn this wonderful gate. And we want to tell you about the most important decoration of the Brandenburg Gate, which was installed 2 years after the completion of the gate, on the roof of the gate, and it is a quadriga, a cart drawn by 4 horses. The quadriga was installed at the Brandenburg Gate by Johann Gottfried Shadov in 1793. The sculpture depicts a 2-wheeled chariot drawn by 4 horses running side by side. Victoria, the goddess of victory, holds the reins. The quadriga was supposed to symbolize the coming of peace in the city. The sculpture was removed from the Brandenburg Gate several times over the years. After Germany, or whatever it was called then, Prussia lost the Fourth Coalition War against France. Napoleon and his troops entered Berlin on October 27, 1806, through the Brandenburg Gate. Napoleon was accompanied by Dominique Vivant-Danon, who, on his behalf, collected artistic treasures in the conquered territories for the Napoleon Museum, the current Louvre. By order of Napoleon, under the leadership of Danon, in early December 1806, the quadriga was removed from the Brandenburg Gate and sent to Paris. In Prussia, the fact that quadriga was taken was considered a great shame. After the dismantling, only the Victoria vertical stick remained on the Brandenburg Gate, which protruded on the gate like a pin. After the victory in the Wars of Liberation, the Prussian army entered Paris on March 31, 1814. On April 4, the field marshal reported to Berlin that the quadriga had been found and the king ordered it to be returned to Berlin immediately. The quadriga was packed in 15 boxes and at the beginning of April 1814 was sent back to Berlin by land transport. On the territory of Prussia, starting from Düsseldorf, transport turned into a triumphal procession. The chariots were greeted with jubilation, and the carts were decorated with garlands and patriotic inscriptions. The restoration of the quadriga lasted from June 19 to July 18, 1814. In addition to repairing transport damage, Victoria also received a new victory sign. German architect Karl Friedrich Schinkel has developed a new design. The old laurel wreath was replaced by an oak wreath with an iron cross. On August 7, 1814, the inhabitants of Berlin again saw the quadriga at the Brandenburg Gate. During World War I, the quadriga was badly damaged and had to be recast. From the old pre-war quadriga, only the head of one horse remains intact, which you can see in the Märkisches Museum. The Brandenburg Gate acquired a special symbolic power during the construction of the wall, during the Cold War. After the erection of the wall, which divided the city into 2 parts, in August 1961, the building led a secluded existence, because since then it was in a restricted area, and it was impossible to visit or pass through it, neither the inhabitants of the East, nor people from the West. After the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, the Brandenburg Gate became a symbol of reunification. The gate opened on December 22, 1989, and people passed through it. The Quadriga was so badly damaged by the unification celebrations, especially on New Year's Eve, -1989/90, that 2 years later it had to be rebuilt again. This concludes our acquaintance with the Brandenburg Gate. And if you liked our video, subscribe to our channel and click on the bell so as not to miss the next one. All the best to you, friends. Until next time.